The original names, words, and everything in between of Volume 2 will be releasing on the 16th of November 2021. Pre-order your copy today by searching Word Origins Book into Amazon and clicking on the non-sponsored link, or checking wherever books are purchased in your part of the world. Yeah, I'm fully aware of how provocative the title of this video is, but I imagine not many people would click on a video called How the Word Plaza Switched from Meaning a Public Meeting Place to a Shopping Mall primarily in North America. So instead I went with that name. Sometimes you've just got to follow those clicks. If the reality of what this video is really going to be about bores you and doesn't excite you as much as the actual title, please feel free to head off now. Still here? Awesome. Plaza. It's one of those words that kind of just washes over you. We hear and see it all the time, but we don't particularly digest it. If you haven't heard of liminal spaces, I'd seriously suggest going and researching them. There's a ton of interesting videos on YouTube about them. If you have an understanding of liminal spaces, then I hope you understand what exactly I mean when I say that plaza is the closest we get to a liminal word. So let's actually think about the word plaza for a moment, shall we? At least until this video is over anyway. When we think about it, we start to realize just how many meanings and uses this word actually has. Plaza pops up in the name of a variety of different place names you will see across human settlements. What did this word initially mean, however? Well, plaza's earliest roots are in the nation of Spain. Plaza seems to have arrived in the English language as a borrowed word from Spanish. Plaza seems to simply be the Spanish word for place or square. This is exactly what these initial plazas are/were. Large open squares where people could gather and socialize in public, often surrounded with small establishments. The most notable example of a traditional plaza in Spain has to be the Plaza Mayor in Madrid, which translates into main square. This plaza is a thing of absolute beauty and came into being under King Philip II of Spain in the late 15th century. Most plazas you will find, not only in Spain but across Europe, tend to be things of astounding beauty. Some of the finest human architecture you will find will be in plazas, and they just have a wonderful atmosphere to them. Some of my favourite memories of visiting Europe is sitting in a plaza with either a hot drink in the dark winter months or a beer in the hot summer months and watching the world go by. It's a wonderful experience, let me assure you. I have nothing but love for plazas in this traditional sense. This, however, is not where our video ends, nor does the word's history. Over the years, plaza has taken on another meaning in another part of the world. My dictionary of choice, the Oxford English Dictionary, aka the OED, has two definitions of the word plaza. The first of those being in Spain and Spanish-speaking countries, a public square, a marketplace. This fits with what I've just described. The second definition, however, is originally and chiefly North American, a large paved area surrounded by or adjacent to shops and businesses, usually designed as a feature of a shopping complex, hence a shopping centre. If that second definition was a tad convoluted, let me explain it a tad more simply. In North America, plaza equals a shopping mall. I am sure you are very aware of shopping malls, those large buildings that house many smaller buildings inside them such as shops, eateries, and sometimes even cinemas and whole theme parks. In North America, it seems that plaza has become synonymous with shopping malls and all the gross consumerism and capitalism that comes with them. Hence why I made the implication that America has ruined the word plaza, as actual traditional plazas are a thing of beauty, while shopping malls with all their chainsaws and harsh lighting really aren't as majestic. Though in all honesty, a shopping mall's really that bad. Culture hasn't been kind to shopping malls, it would seem. They are often made out to be the epicenter of humanity's lust for material goods and highs of consumerism. Films like Dawn of the Dead cemented that idea, linking mindless zombies with mindlessly roaming shopping malls. Series 3 of Stranger Things didn't really help the mall either. Though it cannot be denied that they serve some purpose in life, or at least did. They were introduced as social hubs surrounded by shops. It could even be argued that shopping malls are just a natural evolution of the traditional plaza. I even feel somewhat sorry for shopping malls. Between online shopping and the COVID-19 pandemic, it's amazing they haven't gone the way of the dodo. And besides, I really can't go around being angry at capitalism and consumerism while also plugging my book and Patreon non-stop, can I? Anyway, however you personally view shopping malls, it cannot be denied that a lot of people really dislike them for a variety of reasons, whether that be because of how busy they are or just how tactless they can be. So it's upsetting to me that the word plaza has been thrown under the bus thanks to shopping malls in America, as traditional plazas are things of beauty. So it's a shame that many people probably groan at the idea of going to one, because to them a plaza is a gross mall and not a beautiful square. Perhaps it's worth noting that we don't use plaza in this sense in the UK. In fact, we don't really use mall either, calling them shopping centres instead. Hence why I'm putting the blame primarily on North America. There isn't one clear narrative as to how exactly the word plaza adopted this modern meaning in the Americas, but through looking into the history of plazas, malls, the word itself, and by taking some calculated guesses, we can kind of construct a narrative as to how the word evolved and arrived at its modern meaning. As we established, the word started life in Spain and meant square/place. However, as mentioned, these traditional plazas were definitely not safe havens from consumerism. These plazas are more often than not surrounded by shops and bars and cafes and the like. The OED's definition of them even called them a marketplace. This is because in the past, markets would regularly be held in these plazas. Plazas have always had a deep history with buying things, it just wasn't as on the nose. Plaza, I imagine, entered North America and in turn American English via Spanish speakers arriving in the nation. Those could be Spanish speakers from Spain itself, or the millions of people who speak Spanish natively in South and Central America arriving in the States. It's worth noting that plaza doesn't just mean mall in the USA. Thanks to the Spanish influence across the Americas, plaza can also refer to a large public space to gather in, and many cities in both North and South America do also have plazas in this traditional sense. These too would be surrounded by shops. So when it came to making places dedicated to shopping, it makes sense that the word plaza would get applied to them. By the early to mid 20th century, malls were starting to sprout up not only in North America but across the globe. This leads us to pondering what exactly was the first mall. That is kind of hard to answer. A few different malls like to lay claim to that crown. The first fully enclosed shopping mall is actually thought to have been opened in Sweden in 1955. This mall was simply called Shopping. The first fully enclosed shopping mall on American soil, however, was the Southdale Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. These might seem pretty strange places for the first of their kind to be located in. You'd think something as ever-present and popular as the shopping mall would have first been somewhere like New York or London or somewhere. However, there's a very good reason as to why indoor malls first opened their doors in Sweden and Minnesota. These are parts of the world that get particularly cold, and cold weather doesn't particularly inspire shopping. So having large indoor areas where people can shop even during colder times is a no-brainer, and it was this reasoning as to why shopping malls first opened here, at least fully enclosed ones anyway. There were some precursors to the modern shopping mall in America, one of those opening in Kansas City, Missouri, all the way back in 1923. This mall is not fully inside but has a lot of similarities to modern malls. It also claims to be the first in a lot of things. It claims to be the first mall to be designed for driving to with parking provided, as well as the first mall with a unified design. This mall is seen by many as being the first ever mall in the USA, and as for its name, well, it's called the Country Club Plaza. Yep, the quote-unquote first mall in the USA was called a plaza. We don't know exactly why that was used, but we can have a good swing at it. By and large, this plaza was a big outside place to socialize in as well as shop, somewhat like the plazas of Spain and Europe. As far as I can tell, this is the earliest example of a designated shopping area built from the ground up in the USA being called a plaza. Straight from the get-go, America was bastardizing this word to be linked with shopping as opposed to socializing and beauty. This mall/plaza in Kansas City was a huge success and is still there to this day. From here, other malls with varying degrees of indoorness sprouted up across the state and also applied that word of plaza to their name, despite being nothing like the plazas of Spain. OED's earliest usage of the term plaza in this sense is from 1948 and from the Post-Standard, a local newspaper to the city of Syracuse in New York State. It reads, "Planned for the city's first planned shopping center to be called Upland Plaza Shopping Center were announced yesterday. Annoyingly, I can't seem to locate this Upland Plaza in the city. It's either changed name or has since been demolished. Though it's clear to see that the initial concept of a plaza, being a large open space outside where we can socialize as well as buy things, just drifted further and further away, but that name stuck around until we reached a point we're at today where entirely indoor shopping malls with no charm to them can be labeled plazas too. The word plaza has drifted so far from its original meaning in the USA that entire skyscrapers are now being dubbed plazas. In example, one of Chicago's tallest buildings is called 2 Prudential Plaza. Obviously there's a 1 Prudential Plaza too. Perhaps I'm just being a bit pedantic, but this plaza looks nothing like this plaza, and I know which one I think looks nicer. Okay, so maybe ruined is a tad of a stretch when it comes to understanding how America has used the word plaza, but it can't be argued that the word has strayed quite dramatically from its initial Spanish meaning. I'll leave you one last OED reference quote for plaza. Plaza. It comes via the UK newspaper of The Guardian from 1969, and it simply reads, "There is no place nearer to hell than the all-under-one-roof shopping Plaza." Plazas were suggested by Donna Lynn Pryor, and thanks to their suggestion, they will now be honoured as Name Explain's patron saint of plazas. Do you have a good idea for somewhere that's name could be covered in a Name Explained video? If so, then please consider donating on Patreon. Just $1 a month helps keep the channel running and earns you a weekly chance to suggest somewhere to be turned into a video, and you too could be a Name Explain Patreon saint. Thank you to all my patrons who support Name Explain on a monthly basis. Patreon is vital to Name Explain, and donating just $2 a month allows you to enjoy ad-free videos and bonus Patreon exclusive content. It also allows you to help choose what names get explained in upcoming videos, and it gets your name here with all these awesome people. Thank you so much for all the support you guys give Name Explain. Thank you so much for reaching the end of the video. Check out another video and subscribe to stay in the loop on all things Name Explain. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram where I'm Name Explain YT, and also join the Facebook group Friends of Name Explain, both of which will be linked down below. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and once again, thank you all so much.